Calxiyn and Hunter here. If you guys enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe, become patrons over on Patreon to watch our RWBY reactions earlier than anyone else. Follow us over on social media. So, today we're going to be talking about Robyn, and if you guys don't know, I'm going to make sure that I try to do the full picture of her. So this is Robyn Hill.
From the opening.
From the opening. I'm trying to move the picture so you guys can see more of her face, but that does not seem to be working. Okay, there we go. Hello, yeah, so this is her from the OP, but we have seen her in the regular sort of episode. We also see the show your teeth thing in the background in this picture here, so that may be her slogan. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about her, what we think about her, what we think about her so far, and everything like that. So, Robyn Hill is definitely a Robin Hood situation. Okay, if that is not her, like, illusion or, like, her, her character inspiration, I am going to scream. Because I don't know what else it could possibly be. Because she's fighting against the rich, right? Because this newspaper picture, okay, says election imminent, mantle hometown hero against Elysian Tycoon. And lots of people think that this Elysian Tycoon is going to be Jacques. I feel like that a newspaper would just say Jacques Schnee, right? Like, why would they, Schnee is a big name. Why would they just say some random tycoon? But maybe Mantle doesn't. I don't know, like, maybe they're disconnected. Maybe
remember
they don't care
that
as much.
Marigold guy?
Because they didn't say her name either, to be fair. They said hometown hero against. Yeah. It's a more catchy headline than hometown hero against Jacques Schnee.
Do you remember Marigold?
Yeah.
From Volume 4?
What if it's Marigold?
What if it's Marigold?
Oh my god, Hunter. Anyway.
I just remembered him.
So she fights against the rich, right? And so I think that Jacques could be possible because we do see this screenshot, right, of Jacques sort of flashing behind Ironwood. And so it's possible that Jacques wants to take over the world because he just, the Schnee family empire situation. We also see a poster. So this is the poster and it says Hill is here, probably. And so that's her last name. And we also saw Robyn. And I think Robyn was because you can see the full poster and it seems to be Robyn with a Y. Yes. So there's also that. To sort of move on, though, in the OP is when we get more of the interesting stuff. The show your teeth thing is probably hers, and so you sort of wonder whether or not she's a faunus. Just because it would make sense, and a lot of the people down there seem to be faunus. Like, they're definitely humans. Obviously, there was that racist guy, and he was human against, racist against the faunus. But, like, you see a lot of, like, mining gear, and then you see, like, them being, like, driven back and forth from the mines, and so it's possible that she is really fighting not just for the faunus, but show your teeth can beat it. Everyone. Like, show your teeth if you're a faunus, but show your teeth to these, like, Atlas elite people and all of that sort of stuff.
And, I mean, we don't know what her faunus trait is. She doesn't have ears or a tail.
Yeah, she may not be a faunus at all.
It could be fangs or something subtle, kind of what Gira Belladonna
It could also be, well, Gira has, like...
Yeah, little claws.
That was my claw noise, you guys can't see us. People thought that she had white hair in the poster, and I understand the poster, but when you see her in the OP, she is much more blonde. She doesn't, or like
off-white and blonde.
I mean, platinum blonde. Like, she doesn't. People are like, what if she's Jacques' illegitimate daughter? People were getting on us because they're like, you don't pronounce Jacques with the S in French, and I was just like, yeah, I know. Okay, after like 4 or 5 years of like French education that we had to take in school, I'm like, guys, I know. Okay, I just don't care. So Jacques,
I'm being bad on purpose to spite Quebec.
Yes, Jacques' illegitimate daughter. That still could be possible, but remember, Jacques has black hair.
Yes.
And she's blonde. And I'm not saying it's impossible. Okay, she has black eyebrows. But you would kind of think that they would sort of, if they were going to go for, not something obvious, but like a subtle, like, here's a clue, like to her being the legitimate daughter of Jacques, like, make her have black hair, right? But she's blonde, so that's intriguing.
Unless she dyed, her hair presumably bleached still exists.
Maybe,
Something that I find interesting here is that she looks like she's firing an arrow, and Robin Hood was notorious for being a very good archer.
Right, and so I think that she has a range weapon, sort of similar to Vernal, but that shoots arrows. And I think that's so cool. Like, she seems to have a really cool weapon design, but you know what's more interesting? The person that she's shooting at. Hello, Tyrion. How are you? So, we also see Crow in his new clothes here, so that's another thing. But Crow is helping her fight Tyrion.
So it's the idea, do they have a past history with one another?
Do they?
Is Crow, like, Maid Marian or whatever?
Yeah, because, okay, lots of people ship Winter and Crow. I ship Winter and Crow. However, as soon as this came out, I'm like, Guys, like, I kind of ship Robyn and Crow after this. So Robyn is the representative that Pietro was talking about. Remember, he was like, some mantle representatives, and then Yang was like, could you repeat that part, please? And he didn't, right? So he could have been talking about Robyn. Going back to the Ironwood video, Jacques and the rich, maybe, are sabotaging Ironwood to make him lose power. We haven't actually done the Ironwood video yet, so I don't know why I said it as if we have. But that's basically something that we're going to be talking about, is that Jacques may be sabotaging Ironwood on purpose, so Ironwood looks incompetent and gets voted out, and the rich people will take over, because even though they're scared of Ironwood, if they all work together to make him look bad, they could get rid of him, theoretically, right? And so, what if, like, that whole situation is going on, and what if they're sort of like, oh, the military's treating Mantle poorly, and they're doing it on purpose, right? Because that would be Robyn's concern, if she's a representative for Mantle, is how Mantle is being treated. And we also know, like, Mantle's security is down, so the walls aren't working, and we know that's probably because of Watts, because of something else that we see in the OP. But what if it's like, if Jacques and Watts are working together in some capacity, instead of, you know, having a weird relationship, like I already said? Like, what if it's possible that Jacques, you know, is doing this with Watts, like, oh, we'll take down Mantle security, we'll get, you know, we'll let me run tear down that wall.exe. We'll, make sure that, like, some people in Mantle die, we'll kill a journalist and pin it on the military, like, they're purposely sabotaging Ironwood so the rich tycoons can regain power and they can make, like, an oligarchy.
Yes.
An oligarchy, sis. Yeah. Plato taught me
oligarchy, sis. Yeah, no, that was a famous Plato line.
No, because Plato...
you want the real tea? Greek Cynic?
Plato teaches you about the different sort of, like, there's an oligarchy, like, that's the rich people, there's, like, the military running the government, but then the highest tier is the philosopher king, the government being run by philosophers. That's I also took
an intro to poli-sci course in my first year of university.
Yeah, so what I'm basically saying is Robyn could be fighting, right, about the poor treatment Mantle is getting, and because they want Ironwood to get kicked out, the rich people are actually sabotaging Mantle on purpose. Conspiracy. So what is the connection to Tyrion? That is the question of the fucking hour. Okay, what is the connection to Tyrion? And we've had a theory, right, that Tyrion was actually from a rich family and, like, was a bastard or something, and so he was, like, poorly treated. You know, he was actually, like, say, the son of a rich businessman, but instead, you know, he was a servant in the household or something, and then he was abused, and, like, maybe he murdered them all and then ran away to Salem. Like, ooh, spooky. But yeah. We don't really know, but I really do like sort of the illegitimate daughter theory. And we looked up Robin Hood on the internet. Hunter did. And in some versions of the story, he used to be a nobleman and then decided to steal from the rich.
But that was later versions. This is all from the Wikipedia
but I really
article
like
for
that
Robin
version,
Hood.
Because that would be interesting if Robyn used to be a noble and she was just like, you know what? The people in Mantle deserve better. And so she ran away from home, sort of like a Weiss comparison, but instead, like, she decided to like run away and run for office and sort of all that. And that could be like maybe her and Tyrion are actually related and that they are both Faunus. Right, because she has the barrier teeth, but she could have a more subtle Scorpion Faunus trait, or if their parents were both Faunus, it could have just been randomized, right? It could have been anything. But I sort of like that idea that that's why they're fighting. However, there are some other things that I would like to bring up in this video that I think that are interesting, okay? So even though there's a lot of, like, interesting stuff, and, oh, she was a rich person, she went down to Mantle, maybe Tyrion and her are related, maybe Tyrion and her crossed paths, like, maybe Tyrion used to be her, like, sidekick, because Robin Hood has the guy? His band of merry men? I don't know. Like, who's the right
Friar
hand?
Tuck, and there is Little Tom, and so we might see these
like
characters show up in her crew. One thing that there could be a connection
Jacques
to
illegitimate
Ironwood.
child thing was a thing. But however, this is the Ironwood thing. Like, what if she's Ironwood's daughter?
So in the Robin Hood original story, or some of the, because it's a myth. There's
right.
no original. Some of the iterations have him going off to fight in the Crusades and then coming back from war and realizing that, the sheriff of Nottingham took some of his land, and so that's why he begins to, fight for the people.
Yeah.
So potentially she could have worked
and
for
hometown
Ironwood.
hero.
Gone
right.
To
that
war.
implies that maybe she has defended the city actually. So maybe she was part of the military.
There's also a character, kind of a secondary villain called King something the Lionheart.
Yeah.
And Lionhearts were people that went to battle in the Crusades. So potentially she worked with Leo Lionheart.
I just got chills right
and
there.
There could be sort of a
it could
three-way
be interesting
connection
because
there.
remember, I would love to check the board to see if her name could be there, but remember how Leo sent all these huntsmen to die? Like, what if she was one of the huntsmen, but she got away and she wasn't actually dead and she went back to Atlas? Just something to think about. But here is my crack theory, okay? And we worked very hard on this in the Discord server, and Hunter does not know what it is.
I'm afraid
Let's talk about the first one, okay? Tyrion goes after the maidens, right? So Robyn could be the Winter Maiden, and that could connect to her
I hadn't
back,
actually thought of
like,
that.
with her being Ironwood's daughter or whatever. But then the question is, like, why is Ironwood just letting her, like, go loose in the city? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's also...
if she was a maiden, she would be able to kick Tyrion's ass pretty easily.
Yeah, and so I don't know about the maiden part, but if she has a connection to Ironwood, maybe like Tyrion's idea is like, hey, if I kidnap you, your dad will give me the Winter Maiden, because we don't know where the Winter Maiden is right now. Like, we don't know. It could be her. And somebody was like, if Christina V voices this character, Hunter wins. But if Christina V voices this character and the character is a maiden, do you guys both win? Because we had that bet from before.
I forgot about that.
And so she looks like Christina V. Robyn looks like Christina V. If it's not Christina V, I'll be very surprised. So
if she voices someone that's not the Winter Maiden, I win?
No, remember, you win if she voices an entirely new character that we've never heard of before, and Robyn would fall into that category. I picked, like, Winter Maiden, Willow Schnee, like, I may have made the incorrect choice. Here's something interesting about Robyn, though, and I just want to bring back, like, another screenshot of her, okay?
Yeah.
You know who she reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Glinda, in a weird way.
Oh, no! Oh, I already know where you're going with this!
Why? Why can't Ironwood and Glinda fuck each other? What's wrong with that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, I just got, like, a shock, like, I felt it...
Remember, they had some sort of relationship, and Glinda's hair is platinum blonde. We haven't seen her in a while. Everything in the first couple engines looked a lot more, like,
But,
pigmented,
like, where did she get her last name from? Because it's not Ironwood,
I know,
and
but
it's not
probably
Good
fake.
Witch.
Like, was Robin Hood actually named Robin Hood? Like,
he wasn't. So that's a good point,
exactly.
actually.
Glinda has green eyes, but her sort of color scheme and her cape are purple, and her eyes are purple.
Does she
so
also
it would
have
be
that beauty mark?
Ironwood's, I don't think
freckles?
Glinda has a beauty mark, but it's been a minute since we've seen her. Right, and so it's one of those things where Ironwood's hair, right, is blackish, like he's, you know what I mean? And so her hair, like Glinda's hair, but Ironwood's eyebrows. That's what I'm sort of getting at here. Can we see Ironwood's eye color,
I feel like
please?
her eye, maybe it's just because I haven't seen Glinda in the new, like, engine and the new art style, but I remember her
Ironwood's
hair
eyes
looking
are
more shiny.
blue. Blue and green, do they make purple? No. But maybe, I don't know. Like,
blue and
anyway,
green, I think,
remember, Raven's eyes are red and Ty's eyes are blue, and then Yang's eyes are purple and they also glow red. So don't come for me, sis. Like, this may be possible. But here's the crackest of crack theories. Are you guys ready?
I really am
prepared?
not. Because Glinda hurt, so I don't know where this is going.
If she's not the Winter Maiden, who else mentally can we think of that Tyrion has been ordered to go after? Crow. Okay? Do you see where I'm going with this?
That they're, like, buddies?
No. That Robyn can turn into a bird! And that's why her name is Robyn! Okay.
Oh, she also got the
we worked
the
very
juice.
hard on this in the Discord server, so I want to talk about some things that are irrelevant, okay? Some people were like, but Team Cardinal has bird names, but Carden, like, you know what I mean? Carden Winchester, Skylark, like, they're not, like, literal... You know what I'm saying? Like, their team is sort of, like, weirdly bird-themed, but they're not, like, Crow, Raven, Robyn. Does that make sense?
There's not a name of a bird that is spelt weirdly. Like, a lark is a lark, and they spell it the same.
Yeah, and they spell dove the same, and they
Yes.
spell lark the same, right? Like, she has a weird thing on her name, just like Crow. I guess Raven's name doesn't, but that's irrelevant, okay? We don't need to worry about that.
That's irrelevant. You know
Team
that
Carden
information
is irrelevant. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is that writing-wise, if I was gonna make characters that turn into birds, and I already had a crow and I already had a raven, Robyn seems like the next logical step, okay?
I would have thought
and if
eagle,
I were a writer, I personally wouldn't name other characters after birds
aren't black,
if I had a situation where characters were already being named after birds. Does that make sense? And so I feel like Team Cardinal is maybe just an early misstep, and we can just disregard them. We can just put them over there. Because maybe they didn't know that they wanted Raven and Crow to turn into birds yet. Like, you don't know when they made Team Cardin. They just
I'm
thought it would all work.
I'm checking if Raven is a corvid, because Crow and Ravens are both corvids, which is a type
You want to check if a robin is a corvid? I don't think robins are.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? What's also a corvid?
What?
Blue jays.
And robins
aren't really related to
are
them.
not blue.
Okay, not that superhero. I want an actual robin.
Oh my gosh, he wants a bird.
American bird. Okay.
So this is what I wrote down. That's why she knows Crow, and Crow is defending her. She spies on Salem for Ironwood like Crow did for Oz. Oz could have given her the power first, or alongside the twins, but the twins didn't know about it because they were all spread out, right? Because when you think about it, Crow spied for Ozpin, but who's spying for all the other headmasters, right? Raven could have been, the spy for Lionheart, and that's why, like, she went, like, she's around in Mistral, she has a tribe in Mistral, like, when they were given their assignments, like, that could have been how it was, like, there could have been, like, a Vacuo spy, except Vacuo hasn't been in contact, so Ironwood was like, screw you, but Ironwood was like, I want a bird. Hello? And so they made Robyn a bird.
Are you saying that she could have... What if potentially she was also part of the Branwen tribe?
She looks a little blonde for that.
But, like, I mean, a lot of people are part of the Branwen Raiders.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, that would mean she was in Minstrel and then would have been involved with Lionheart.
And that could have been the Lionheart Crusades, right?
Yes.
And so some people say that her symbol looks very similar to Vernal's tattoo, right?
And, it does.
And it also, and her weapon is also very similar to Vernal. And we know Vernal was part of the tribe, so it's like, we don't know if Vernal had that tattoo before or after, but what if everybody in the tribe sort of has a tattoo?
What I guessed about that, because it's also her weapon and she has a badge, I thought that was like a symbol of mantle.
I think it's,
so
I
what
think
if
that's like almost
her and Vernal are related?
Maybe. I think that's sort of her symbol, like, she's changed the Atlas symbol, so it's like the uprising, again, like District 13, hello, how are ya? But anyway, Ozpin could have given her the power alongside the twins. They didn't need to mention her before, because why would it matter? So that's what I said.
I understand that you were just, you're scribbling, but you also looks like you wrote Ironweed there.
Oh god. And then spies on rivals. And so that's what she could be doing with her bird power. That is why she has gone into politics instead of helping Ironwood, because Ironwood has confined everybody into the city, is now she uses her bird power to spy on her political opponents. And that's why Tyrion is trying to kill her, because do you remember when Raven was like, hey, the last eye is blinded, right? She was talking about Crow because Crow was poisoned. Raven was blinded because she left Ozpin. Robyn would have been blinded because Robyn was confined to Atlas and could no longer spy on Salem anymore. And that leaves Crow. Okay. So I think that it's pretty solid.
But wait, are you implying that ravens have, or birds have 3 eyes there?
No,
okay.
The last eye is blinded. I'm just saying that like in an Odin sort of situation, right? Because Salem says the last eye is blinded. Crow would have been the last eye.
Okay.
Because it would have been last of Ozpin's eyes if if Robyn can turn into a bird. Right?
Oh.
Right? Okay, and here's like the mind-blowing part.
Oh boy.
Okay? I don't know if you guys are ready, but it's sort of like, from my perspective, it just all came together because Tyrion is fighting her. And remember, she's not blinded anymore. She's going around, trying to spy on Salem now that Ironwood is preparing for Salem. So she's no longer blinded, possibly. And so that's the thing. But her spying on her political opponents as a bird, like, sis, like, that is crazy if she could do that.
It has big, like, Hunger Games energy.
I know, big Hunger Games energy, guys. And so that is what I think is going on. And that's why Tyrion is fighting her, because he's like, well, I guess the last eye isn't blinded after all. And neither are you, because, Crow's still there anyway. And so I definitely think that they know each other. At the very, very least, they knew each other. I don't know in what capacity
I'm really excited. I don't know how they're going to introduce her. I think it might be them just, like, I don't know, trying to get a rebellion. What I think might be interesting is if they need to be busted out of Atlas jail and Robyn busts them out.
Of Atlas jail?
Yes, of Atlas jail.
Yeah.
And
you said Atlas jail.
Okay,
I was just laughing and saying of Atlas jail.
Of Atlas jail, and Robyn helps bust them out. And maybe it's just like I saw you come in, like, you big idiot, and then we learn about her and Crow's backstory. And also, everyone loves a good Prison Break episode. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a classic.
I agree. I do think Ironwood's just gonna let them out anyway. But so that's what we got. We got that she's the Winter Maiden, that she's Ironwood's daughter, that she is both of those things, and that she can turn into a bird.
And little.
I love her
Robyn.
character already. We haven't even heard her speak. We don't even know. Like, she just looks so cool. She
God,
just
I
seems
hope she's
like
a
such
cool character.
Cool person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope that she is. And imagine her spying on like I wish that we could go back maybe and like look at Weiss and all that stuff, and like if we could find a bird outside of her like imagine that we just saw
Robyn.
we just saw a bird outside of her window or something
that
like
bird
that.
that got destroyed in Volume 1 when they're doing their landing strategies
was Crow.
That was I was gonna say Robyn, but yeah,
no. But yeah, so that's sort of what I'm thinking. Like, imagine if we go back and try to find like a blue bird, or wait, robins are not blue. A red bird.
Gray with a red breast.
Red bird.
I looked up the Wikipedia
Find the bird.
article.
Okay. Anyway, we'll see you
Find
guys
that
later.
bird.
Bye, guys.
Thank you to all the patrons over on Patreon who support our channel. Their names will be showcased now.